Welcome to the Timeless Marketing Podcast with Brian Kurtz, your connection to insights from some of the top direct response marketing minds on the planet.
Hey, it's Brian Kurtz here, host of the Timeless Marketing Podcast. Today's episode is a clip from one of the 2-hour calls inside Titan's Accelerator, my private mentorship program for direct response marketers. Before we get to that, I have one question for you. Do you have a marketing insurance policy? If you don't, you need one. And that's why I created Titan's Accelerator, which is one of the most giving communities and serves as the de facto board of advisors and marketing insurance policy for over 250 of the best and brightest direct response marketers, copywriters, media buyers, marketing agencies, senior executives, anyone in direct response marketing who is committed to growing and scaling their business. The bottom line, you don't have to grow your business alone. And you don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars either. Titan's Accelerator is 1/10 of the price of most groups of its kind. I know because I hosted a group that was over $20,000 a year. If you want to see how Titan's Accelerator can help you grow and scale your specific business, go to briankurtz.net/help. That's BrianKurtz.net/help. And with a private membership, you'll receive access to the full presentation from today's episode, along with the Q&A and discussion that followed. As an added bonus, you'll receive access to a vault filled with many more private calls just like this one. Again, if you want to see if Titan's Accelerator is a fit for you with no obligation, go to briankurtz.net/help. That's BrianKurtz.net/help. And feel free to email me directly. I respond to every email with questions about this episode or just to say hi at brian@briankurtz.net. Now on to today's episode.
Okay, BK, you ready?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
I think so.
All right. So Brandon's been what year are you in Accelerator? Third?
Third. I just got my hat trick renewal package.
Excellent. And Brandon's also clearly just a great student of the craft of marketing and media. And he came to, I think, both Titan's mastermind meetings when the accelerators were invited. Got to know him a little bit better because of that. Really like the way you think, and I like the way you carry yourself, and you're always improving. You're always trying to improve yourself, which a lot of people in the room do, on the screen do. But I love the way you are always looking to just like one-up yourself every day. And that's how I would describe you. And I'm not your best friend, but that's how I would describe you. And so Brandon has a spotlight, which are you going to have? Do you have slides?
I do, actually. And Sarah Monin made them, so she's awesome for anyone that's curious. Yeah.
Sarah, is that something that you do as a side hustle or what?
That is getting a lot of attention on this meeting.
Yeah, there you go. You don't even have your video on.
I know. Sorry, I'm dealing with a sick puppy right now.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
It's okay. Angela also helped me with that as well.
Angela is a veterinarian she plays a veterinarian on Zoom. Okay, BK, you're on. And if you don't like the slides, blame Sarah.
And if you do like the slides, maybe you can hire Sarah.
Exactly.
No, she's awesome.
She is awesome.
I cannot design anything, so super helpful that I had someone like her to help me out. Cool. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Brandon. My background is mostly media buying. At this point, I've spent over $100 million in direct response media buying. And what I'm going to share with you guys today is something that's been making up more and more of my time over the last couple of years, and that's working really well. So hopefully it's something that you guys can take with you. I don't have anything to sell, just information here today. So, yeah, let me share my screen. Well, can you guys see my title here?
Yes, the lazy man's way to YouTube ads.
I have labeled this in a way that hopefully resonates with this group here. What's it? Joe Carbo headline.
Yeah, they'd have to know Joe Carbo, but I'm sure it's a great way to connect to the group.
Yeah, there's probably enough people in here to get that. So this is the fastest, easiest, and most profitable way that I know of that you can use to scale video ads. This presentation is going to be on YouTube specifically, because that's where I've spent, most of my money. And everything that we're going to talk about today is backed by, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars that I've spent doing this stuff. So none of this is guesswork. I've done it all myself and I have data to back it up. So hopefully this is helpful. Cool. So that's me. It's just a slide to prove that I don't always wear my Titans t-shirt. I can actually wear nice stuff sometimes. Nothing really we need to talk about there. Why are we doing YouTube today? Well, as I mentioned before, is my area of expertise. That's what I know a lot about. But there are specific reasons that I think, might be helpful for you guys. The first one is that, if you've been in this group for any amount of time, you've probably heard Brian say that the most dangerous number in business is 1. And so if you're reliant on any one channel, that's like all you Facebook people out there, this is a good opportunity to diversify, right? The second reason is that it's very scalable. There's almost an unlimited amount of inventory on YouTube. So it's not like you're just stuck to one screen, one group of people. It's, virtually endless, right? Second reason is, as of right now, there are fewer restrictions on this channel. So I don't know anyone that's been around media buying for any amount of time that hasn't run into Facebook algorithm problems or their ad account being shut down, things like that. You will run into less of that on this channel. It doesn't mean you can't be ethical and doesn't mean you should do the wrong things. It's just there are a little bit more loose restrictions here. Third reason why you should care, you typically see higher quality leads on this channel. And that's because you can tap into all of the infinite wisdom of Google, right? So Google owns YouTube. And in essence, you can target the people who have recently Googled your exact product or service. They just don't know that you offer it yet, which is a really high intent, high quality group of people. And you can reach that audience for much, much cheaper than you can on Google search. So those are the reasons why I think this is a really good channel. I spent a lot of money on it, testing what works, and I'm going to share some of that with you now. So I titled this the lazy man's way to YouTube ads. But there is some work you're going to have to do, and we're going to focus today on several ways to write a video script that should, I can't guarantee it'll work, but should do very well for you. And these are a few different frameworks and methods that I've tested over and over again, and they seem to work. So before we get into the actual nuts and bolts of this here, we're going to talk about just overall architecture. What we're looking for here is 2 to 3 minutes of video, which is about 300 to 400 words, and direct response. So this isn't awareness, it's not branding, it's we're asking people to take action and we're giving them a reason to do so, right? Cool. So what we're going to start with here is, and I'll give examples of these as we go on, is the beginning part of your video ad. This is the first 5 or 10 seconds. This is what we call the hook. This is essentially your headline for your ad. And what we're doing here is, this is the opportunity that we are taking to get someone's attention, the person that we want to talk to, and repel everyone else. One of the neat things about this channel in particular is that technically you're not charged money for an impression. You're only charged if someone watches the video. So what we want to do here is actually repel people that we don't want. Like, we don't care. If you're not interested in what I have to sell, hit the skip button, get out of here. don't worry about it, right? So this is our opportunity really to get the people that we want, right? And repel everyone that we don't want. We don't want to talk to a broad audience. We don't want to do any of that. We want to laser target people that have the problem that we can solve. So here are 3 ways to specifically do that tend to work every time. I will share them with you. The first one here is actually just literally call them out. Tell who you're trying to attract and just say it. Like this first one, for example, hey, listen, if you own or run a restaurant, guess what? If someone owns or runs a restaurant, they will probably listen to you. If they don't, they're just going to hit the skip button. This is the easiest, most direct, and honestly, the best way to start a video ad on this channel. And these will also work on other channels like Facebook, Instagram, etc. You typically can't go the other way around, like Facebook ads to YouTube, but you can make them in this format for YouTube and send them over to Facebook. So that's the first way. Second one, how to. Here's how I did this benefit, or here's how you can get this benefit. Same principle applies here. If you have something they're interested in, they're going to keep watching the video. If they don't, they're just going to hit the skip button. Third one here, same idea. Ask them a question. Hey, would you like this? Or hey, have you ever done this but experienced this problem? If so, keep watching, right? And one thing that we'll do here when I write these scripts, and I'll show you guys some examples later, is when I write them, I'll typically include 2 or 3 or 4 hooks with each script. And then when the editor makes them, you just piece one hook with the rest of the script, hook 2 with the rest of the script. And that way you get several different variants that you can use to test. You can also use these to talk to different subsegments of your prospect list. So maybe if you have, I don't know, manufacturers is one list and construction people is another list, you could just add 2 separate hooks, each calling out those individual people. So that's just a good way to get more mileage out of an existing script without really doing much work. Cool. So let's go into a couple 2 or 3 minute frameworks that have worked for me over the last couple of years on several millions of dollars. This first one I have called the mini Gary Halbert. There's maybe a better name for this, but there's a famous, I think it's a newspaper ad that he wrote about how to get the government to pay you what they owe you and not the other way around. And in the lead of that article, he talks about different ways to like avoid paying taxes that are clearly the wrong thing to do, right? Like one of them's like fleeing the country, another one's just to like not pay or something like that. And that's what we're doing with this one. So we're going to start with the hook, which we just explained. We're going to introduce a couple options that might be in someone's brain, right? Like things that they might be considering. And then we're going to tell them why that's not the right thing to do. All right. And then, now that we've kind of riled them up a little bit and give them a good reason why they shouldn't do this, we're going to tell them what to do instead, which is probably what you have to sell. Right. And then the benefits of that, I will typically include an objection response here. So typically it goes something like this. You tell them something really cool what we have to offer. And then you're like, well, this sounds interesting, but people always have questions, right? If you deal with sales calls or you own your own business, you probably know what these objections are right away. I would just put the most important one here. We can test different things later. And then this is direct response. Tell them what to do. Tell them why they should do it and tell them what to do right now. So that's just an easy, 2-minute variant, right? It tends to work very well across a bunch of different industries. And it's super easy to, once you kind of have this structure, it's super easy to just come up with the words, right? So we're going to move on to a second one here. I use this one a lot if you have a specific competitor in the space, or the status quo can be like a competitor or an enemy as well, right? So you could also kind of look at this one as almost like a problem agitation solution kind of thing. You have your hook, same thing. You're trying to interest the people you want to. Then you're going to tell them why the status quo or why this certain solution is bad. And then you're going to tell them why it's actually worse than that. Maybe there's a hidden problem in there they don't really know about, or there's something that's not on the surface. And then you're going to introduce your solution with the benefits, which is what you have to sell. You're going to overcome an objection. Then you're going to tell them what to do and tell them what to do again. You're starting to see a pattern here, maybe. Third one I'm going to share with you guys is just the opposite of this. This one tends to work really well too, maybe with some more aware or sophisticated audience. You might tease the benefit, and then you'll actually start with the objections. And this would look something like, well, you can do this without this common pain point, without this common pain point. And here's what you get with this solution. And then your objection responses and your call to action, right? So that's how we're going to write some of these scripts. And after this part's done, this is almost all you have to do. Actually, this is the 80-20 of creating good video ads that can scale across almost any niche. And so what we're going to do next is this thing's written, maybe it's in a Google document. How do we turn it into video form, right? So if you're like me, I don't know, I'm not a public speaker. It's not my strong suit. I'm not very good at being on camera and being natural and colloquial. So what I do is, maybe you're also, I don't know, there's this famous quote where more people are scared of public speaking than death. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's certainly, I hear it over and over again. People they don't want to be on camera, or they don't want to do public speaking, or maybe it just takes a lot of time, or it takes away from time you could spend working on the business, right? So what I found that works really well, and it's also super fast, super easy, is I hire an actor to read these. They are, I'll show you the website in a second, but these are all professionals that have spent decades either selling things on the home shopping network, or maybe they're anchors on TV. They've just got years and years of experience being on camera, and they're always going to sound better than I will, right? And honestly, for the price, they're very cheap. It's somewhere around maybe like $100, for a couple minutes, right? Which on a per minute basis is pretty expensive. But if you're getting 5 or 10 ads out of it, it's ridiculously cheap. The quality is better, and it's super fast. So what I do is I go on this website called backstage.com, which is where aspiring actors go to find jobs. You put up a job posting, you get a bunch of responses, and then you hire the person. If anyone here is interested, I have a list of pre-vetted actors I've used over and over again. I can send you guys. I got a pretty good roster of people that tend to always work well. And then that's it. You hire the person, you send them the filming instructions. They can film it on their iPhone. iPhone shoots in 4K now, so do Android. That's very high quality, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It's just a person in front of the camera having a one-on-one conversation with your prospect. That's it. They film it themselves. They send it back to you, right? So you don't have to do any of the work. You don't need your own equipment, anything like that. And then you send it to your editor. These are super simple ads to make. As you saw in the last screen, it's just a person in front of a camera. The editor just needs to piece them together, right, in the order that the script is in. Just keep it simple. You can use subtitles if you want to. Use captions, add a call to action. You don't need to go crazy on B-roll or effects. Maybe after you've gone a couple rounds of testing the messaging, you can invest in some of that, but that's really not what's going to move the needle on these. This is direct response copy. So that's pretty much it. I figure now we can do questions if you guys want, but that's the whole process. It's very simple.
Thanks for listening to the Timeless Marketing Podcast with Brian Kurtz. Visit briankurtz.net and click podcast at the top of the page for a full transcript and show notes. If you are interested in working with Brian personally inside of Titans Accelerator, go to briankurtz.net/help to see how Titans can help you grow and scale your business. That's briankurtz.net/help.